Last week, Germany saw a recap of what is happening in parts of Europe. This past Saturday, that is on 8th October, several thousands of protesters gathered at Berlin Reichstag building, which is the lower house of German parliament, raising slogans against their government. Then they held protest march across the city, decrying their government. Today in this video, we decode why has Germany been in the grips of the unrest and what exactly made the demonstrators take to the streets. But before that, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Oneindia News. When Russia-Ukraine war started, many anticipated it to be a short-lived one. 7 months later, the war doesn't seem to be anywhere close to end and hostilities seem to escalate every now and then. Apart from Russia and Ukraine, these 7 months have cost Europe a lot. This war is one of the most important and perhaps the most significant blow to the lives of common people across Europe. Protests have been erupting across European nations and have been snowballing from one nation to another. The reasons for this domino effect are very simple. Higher cost of living, rising inflation, less supply of oil and gas leading to high prices of essential fuel, and most importantly, sentiments of opposition among common citizens with respect to their stand of their government in Russia-Ukraine war. Add to it the EU sanctions against Russia, growing alienation with NATO, and you get a cocktail of resentment, anguish and unrest. This is what Germany is currently grappling with. As we all know, the war has dried up the supply of oil and gas from Russia to Europe. The entire Europe is heavily dependent on Russia for running its critical infrastructures. The supply has dwindled while the costs have gone up massively. This has led to a huge jump in the prices of oil and gases, and the common public is finding it very difficult to cope up with these inflationary pressures. The recent incident of what is being described as sabotage in Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, the main pipelines that supply Russian oil to Germany, has aggravated the situation several notches up. The pipelines have been now rendered inoperable for the foreseeable future, and that means even greater worry for almost entire Europe that is facing a grim winter of power blackouts. Due to the EU's over-reliance on Russian gas, anti-Russian sanctions have caused more damage to EU citizens than they did to Russia. And as EU governments struggle to find alternatives to Russian oil, the masses are taking to the streets to voice their opposition to NATO's proxy war on Ukraine. After Czech Republic, Germany is the second major European nation to witness such huge protests. Yesterday, Paris also witnessed massive anti-NATO protests. Last month too, several thousands had rallied in East German states to protest against Berlin's energy policy and sanctions against Russia. This time, Germany is facing its worst winter in 75 years. The oil and gas crisis risks crippling its economy, sweeping away its government, and bringing chaos to the heart of Europe. At the onset of the Russian-Ukraine war, Germany had suspended certification of the Nord Stream 2 project that was almost ready to start operations at the behest of NATO and USA. Gas supply through the Nord Stream 1 pipeline also reduced and has now been halted by the Russian state-owned energy giant Gazprom. These issues have led to an acute energy crisis across Europe, including in Germany. In its bid to help gas importers, the German government had envisaged a controversial gas price levy of 2.4 euro cents per kilowatt hour for consumers with effect from October 1st. This also added to the financial burden that common people are facing due to the ongoing cost of living crisis. Earlier, Germany's energy regulator, the Federal Network Agency, had issued a dire warning to the country's consumers and businesses, saying they risked triggering a power emergency if they did not dramatically cut consumption. Reports have indicated that despite shortage of oil and natural gas, per capita consumption had increased in Germany lately. Furthermore, the Eurozone is battling an unprecedented inflation that has been emptying people's pockets already. This was all you needed to know about the reasons Germany is witnessing huge protests. We hope you liked this new video. Thank you for watching.
Subscribe to Oneindia channel and never miss an update.